Welcome to the lounge where the stories climb high. Dr. Rhonda's in the groove where the pages touch the sky. Sip on inspiration, let the moments unwind. Every voice the horizon, new tales intertwine. From pen to passion where the art feels divine. Authors vibing together, creativity and time. So pull up your chair, let your spirit align. Horizons Author Lounge where words come alive. Welcome to Horizons Author Lounge.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I am back. Hey, this is your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and we are here for another episode of the Horizons Author Lounge. And I'm excited because my first guest is actually an author I've not met before. This is going to be our first time talking, but she was so gracious to accept my invitation onto the show. And I think that's starting to say a lot about the show. And I'm getting to meet new authors. So those of you who are always looking for somebody new to read, this is your chance. So we're going to be talking about the work that she's doing with her books, which is helping teens to become more financially savvy, so to speak. And then later in the show, we have a friend to the Horizons Author Lounge and a friend to Meet the World Image Solutions, Naleighna Kai. And she is getting ready for the Cavalcade of Authors. I took part in that event way back when I only had one book, Cheating in the Next Room. And so I'm really excited to join forces with her once again. And we're going to be talking a lot about what's going to be going on there. That's taking place in Chicago. So lots and lots of stuff going on. If you've been following me on social media, you know that I was in Delaware this past weekend, and it was everything. We were talking about the creators' rights movement and what steps creators need to take to protect their work, protect their intellectual property. Hey, Mark. What they need to do just to, like I said, protect themselves and to protect their work. It's more than just getting a copyright and thinking that you've done your thing, or it's more than just posting something on Facebook and thinking you've done your thing. There's so much more to it. And so we talked about that over the weekend. So if you follow me on any social media platforms, take a look at the video and you'll see exactly what I mean. It was wonderful. And I met so many great people that you were going to be meeting very soon as well. But tonight, speaking of meeting people, I'm ready to introduce you to my first guest. Her name is Angela McMillan. And like I said, she was so gracious to accept my invitation on the show. And then when I found out what she was doing with her books and how she was helping teenagers to become more money aware, so to speak, I knew I just had to get her on the show. So, Angela, thank you so much, and welcome to the Horizons Author Lounge.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And to be honest, I'm still getting used to the concept of me being an author. So it's maybe the first person to say that live.
Wow. Well, you know what? You've probably been writing for a lot longer than you've been published. So you've been an author for a while. You just didn't know that you were an author.
That's true. I have a few degrees. So a thesis is usually what I've been writing quite a bit of. So that is very true.
Now, what made you decide to dedicate your platform to educating teenagers, especially on finances?
Because I was one. So when I was 18, I was pretty much on my own. I didn't have parents to help me, guide me through the college years and going into my 20s. And I had a lot of struggles that I was dealing with, starting with college, student loans, number one, which clearly would still affect me to this day. But credit cards was another.
Oh, yes.
They're very predatory when it comes to college campuses.
Believe it or not, my first credit card was an American Express card. And I was actually handling my card pretty well. But the adults around me were scared about me having that American Express card. Because if you remember back in the day, and I have an American Express card now, but the terms are different. But, you know, before you could charge as much as you wanted on that card. as long as it was paid off at the end of the month.
Right. That was the stipulation. That was a stipulation of American Express back then. And then just in general on college campuses, there was countless, credit card companies. If you sign your life away, I'll give you a T-shirt and I'll give you an umbrella. And
everyone has that T-shirt.
Yes, everyone has a T-shirt. Everyone has the umbrellas. So a lot of these things, like these kids, they don't even know where their first class is, but they're signing their financial knowledge away, which shackles them with debt anytime for the rest of their lives. Same thing with student loans. So I had to deal with that, from 18, where I was in line, for example, going through financial aid at 18 by myself. I'm watching all these parents with their kids, getting all the knowledge about it. And then I was treated very differently when I got to the desk with my person, and she's just like, sign here, sign here, sign here, sign here, sign here. And I didn't realize I was signing like 30 years away of my life.
Yes.
And the only thing I knew is that if I signed there, I get to go to college, and that's all I knew at 18. So that has obviously affected me, as did credit cards and as did quite a number of things. So not only do I work with personal finance, but I also do career planning is my other book for the same reason, mainly because of the fact that at 18, at 17, at 16, only thing you have is a very superficial idea of what different jobs are. Kids are told, oh, you should be a doctor. Okay, why? Like, what specifically is it that you want to see or you want to accomplish? You should be an engineer. Okay, why? What specifically of engineering? Which type of engineer?
Right.
And there's only a handful of careers that teens or even a lot of times their parents even know about. So I wanted to expand this to give so much more what we call career clusters, so that teens and their parents can know what opportunities that they have to choose from, not just the same small group and the same small amount. And both financial, personal finance and career planning work hand in hand, because you need to know how much these careers actually pay. Will you be able to pay should you go down the student loan route? What are the alternatives? Are there trade schools? Are there apprenticeships? There's so many different opportunities that these young kids have that they just don't know about. As I matured in my career, because I went on to get 3 degrees. I have a master's of science and an MBA, which actually is the reason why I did the personal finance. But I learned so much during my growth process of how to help teens and what I wish I would have known myself, so that they didn't have to go down the same route that I went through, which I would say many, many people in my generation has gone through. And even our parents' generation, who probably are still stuck with their kids' student loan payments. And all of that could have been resolved if we just knew the information when the kids are themselves 17, 18, or their parents, or when their kids are 17 or 18.
Yeah, I've got to tell you, and especially in this day and age where, we're in a much more technological era than we were back when we were in college. I started college in 1991, and we thought we were on top of the world back then. But if you look at where we are now versus where we were in 1991, and 1991 sounds like the dark ages. But when we look at everything that kids have their fingertips on, everything that they can reach out and touch now, it is so easy to get caught up in everything. And not just with technology, but with social media now, everybody wants to look like they have it all, even if they don't actually have it all. And you see so many people going into debt. I was actually watching it was a TV show that was actually on Netflix. And one of the people it was a financial show. And one of the people on the show had actually won $1 million on another reality show. And by the time he got to this show, he was basically broke, because all that money that he won on the show, he was using it for clothes and going out to expensive brunches, because he was trying to look a certain way.
Exactly.
And so are we seeing that now with young people, or have you seen that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like with the information overload, and like you said, we already had a superficial site, back in the 90s early 2000s, but now in 2020s and going into 2030s, people are seeing the average person who appears to have all this money because they might flash something, and they're like, oh, that's my neighbor next door, and they have all this money, which we were used to only seeing that with celebrities. So I do talk about, maybe not necessarily celebrities, but I do talk about the issues with emotional spending and trying to keeping up with the Joneses, as what we used to say in my book, and not to get caught up with that, because it can also absolutely ruin your life, probably faster than what we experienced when we were younger.
Very true. Very true. So you showed me your books earlier. Can you show them to me again?
So one of them is Personal Finance for Teens, and the other one is Career Planning for Teens. And they're both available on Amazon.
Okay. Now, can you tell me the difference between the two? What are you discussing in each book?
So this one for personal finance is everything that has to do with literally your finance, and it starts from the basics. So it talks about the definition. So you're not caught up in, like, as I'm talking about APR, I'm like, what is APR? All the definitions start off with the book. It goes into basic budgeting. It goes into different plans that you can have, like a high yield savings plan, emergency funds, the reasons why you need to have this. So it goes into quite a number of basics for budgeting. And again, this is made for teenagers. So this is something that you should really read with your children. They can read it on their own, absolutely. And because it's for the entire age group, starting from like 12, it also starts off with some games, some budgeting games for them to play with. Again, more geared towards the younger of the teens. The older of the teens, can skip that group if they want to.
Right.
And then for career planning, this also helps them with being able to determine what specifically they would like to do based on their own skills and strengths. So again, I talk about career clusters, which goes into like STEM, and it goes into agriculture, and it goes into finance. And I mean, you can even see several of them mentioned on the cover. But then it goes into some of the newer ones like e-commerce, influencing, gaming. There's so many careers now, and they're constantly emerging. So I have it separated into two chapters, one with the more traditional career clusters, and the other one with the emerging career clusters. And it helps with being able to determine what your strengths are and your interests. Also networking, which is a huge factor.
Yes.
Even as a teenager, you can absolutely go and talk to companies to see shadowing, to see if that's actually something that you want. It might look great on paper, but when you see the day-to-day, that might not be something that you're actually interested, or vice versa. So it goes into how to communicate, because again, and sadly, especially when it comes to a lot of people in our community, we don't get these opportunities to go talk to these companies that some schools might give people who don't quite look like us. This gives everybody the same information, so that you don't feel like you're left out of information, and you don't have to depend on a school to help you get this. You can do it yourself. Both of them are designed for that purpose.
So are these books, would you recommend buying them as a bundle, or could you buy them separately depending on your needs?
You could buy them separately. They're currently separate. I don't have them as a bundle as of yet, but you can physically buy both of them together on Amazon. I just don't specifically have them set as a bundle as of yet, but I will be working on that. But yeah, I have them both on Amazon and technically TikTok, on TikTok Shop as well.
Oh, TikTok Shop. I mean, I've heard of so many authors doing well on TikTok Shop, and my behind, I haven't done it like I should, but I'm eventually going to be selling my books on TikTok Shop. I like to say things out loud on the show. hold it to me.
Speak the truth.
But one thing you mentioned was a high yield savings plan. And I was a teenager when I was well into adulthood before I found out what a high yield savings plan is. And I think that's part of the knowledge that young people have their hands on now. So can you talk a little bit about high yield savings plan and why that's different from just throwing your money in a savings account?
Yeah. So the high yield savings account has a higher interest rate, so that when you put money in, it'll start compounding, versus like if you put it in a traditional bank like a Chase or like a Wells Fargo or things like that, it has like maybe a 0.1% interest. So at the end of the month, you might get a penny. But with a high yield savings account, you put it into a different type, like uh, Capital One or whatever the one is, usually not an actual brick and mortar bank. It will have a much higher interest rate. I think now it's like 3 point something. So you put money in and you'll get that much more compounded monthly. So at the end of a year, you'll have a lot more growth than you would in a traditional bank account. And the idea, if you use it for an emergency fund, the idea is that you allow it to grow over time. So it continues to compound interest as it grows. But of course, if you need it, you can still extract it fairly easily.
Okay, and this is something. Do you need a certain amount of money to get it started? Like, there are some accounts where you have to have a minimum amount before you can start the account.
Yeah, I don't recommend those. I recommend the ones that you don't have to have anything. Like, for example, I've done Capital One, and I didn't have to have anything to have a minimum in it or maintain a minimum. You just put money into it. And one of the perks is it's far enough that you can't always just grab it. You just feel like it. So there has to be thought into retrieving the money back. But there's no fees and there's no penalties for getting the money when you need it.
Okay. And that's a good thing. Now that doesn't mean dip into the account every time you go to brunch.
Correct. Correct. This is for true emergencies. You're driving and all of a sudden your tire blows out. It's a true emergency. It's not like, oh geez, I feel like having McDonald's next week.
Now with the other book, The Career Planning, what types of careers are you discussing in there? Because as I was mentioning a little earlier, we're in this social media era where people want the sexy jobs. They want the job that's going to make them look like a celebrity. And many may not realize that being a certified plumber, or I remember reading about one lady who had her only job was when people get a flat tire on the highway, she goes out and changes people's tires, but she was making so much money doing this. And so I think a lot of times we think about the jobs that are going to make us look like celebrities, the high profile jobs, but there are the jobs that may be kind of on, I don't want to say on the back burner, but they're the jobs that a lot of people may not be talking about, but they still make a very good amount of money that will give you that certain level of comfort that you're looking for.
Right. Oh my gosh, there's so much. I actually have to look down and read it because I have like tons I talk about. There's agriculture, there's architecture, there's the arts, there's the business management, there's education, there's finance, there's government, there's health science, there's hospitality, there's human services, information technology, law, public safety, manufacturing, aeronautics, manufacturing, marketing, STEM, I already talked about, transportation. And I mean, the list kind of goes on and on. There's entrepreneurship, there's cybersecurity, there's AI. I know it's a dreaded AI, but let's face it, it's here. There's the green technology, which is starting to become very popular with sustainability. There's definitely freelance work. I honestly would recommend more freelance works once you get a career and that you can use your career to be able to monetize it. My personal thoughts. But there's more, like there's there's mental health, there's biotechnology and genomics. I mean, the list, goes on and on.
Oh, that's awesome. And it shows kids that they have something to choose from.
Absolutely.
They have options.
They have options. And again, this is to spark their interest. So this isn't saying like once you get your career, you still have to research it to see if that's actually what you want to do. But it gives kids the spark for them to pique their interest in like, oh, I could see myself doing that, and reaching out to those companies that have that, because chances are there's quite a number that are looking for interns, or someone, or volunteers, even volunteer work, to be able to, help them with whatever they need to do. And in the process, you can see the day-to-day, or the kids can see the day-to-day and see if that's something that they're interested in. Right. Universities do this as well. So universities, quite a number of universities are teaching universities. So they have oncology departments, which I've worked in, pathology departments, genetics departments, engineering departments. And a lot of high schools will get the kids that they feel would be good, but there's nothing stopping anyone else from going to the universities and seeing if they too can join these programs or a similar program for volunteering.
Now, access can be an issue. What if a family or a child does not know where to find these programs? What do they do?
Well, that's where the perk of 2026 is, so like if you have an interest in aerospace, you can look up, aerospace volunteer, information, or aerospace near me, or whatever the case may be, to give them an idea of who to actually start looking up. And LinkedIn is a very powerful
Yes.
platform that I've done it. I literally did it yesterday, where I was looking at a company. I had no idea where it was. So I looked at the About Me, which lists a lot of the people, the higher ups of people, and they all have LinkedIn pages. So I reached directly out to the people that's on their page on LinkedIn to start a conversation. And a lot of times it does work. Of course, if I'm dealing with someone under the age of 18, please do that with your parents' consent.
Yes. Now, speaking of kids under the age of 18, are you actually able to go out to some of the schools or to youth organizations to talk about what you're talking about in the books?
That is going to be my next plan. I have not had a chance to do that yet with my current workload, but it is something that I want to do. There's quite a number of people that have said to me the exact same thing, like, you need to get out into these schools. And I'm like, I agree. I just need to start working on that.
Yeah, I know it's easy to tell people what they should do. When I first became an author, people would tell me, you should go talk to Tyler Perry about turning the books into a movie, or you should call Oprah. And I'm like, can you give me their phone number? Everybody makes it seem so easy.
Very true. Very true. I wish.
But no, I really do think that this is valuable information that young people need to know. Like I said, it's so right now we just get caught up, and everybody wants to have money, everybody wants to have designer, but we're not actually teaching our young people the skills to make their own money, or to save their own money, or to build their own money.
And all of those are vital, especially like when you look at today, when, I hate to be a little bit of a Debbie Downer, but we know that about 600,000 of our women have been displaced from their jobs. If we all had those savings from a teenage years, think of how much less stress we would have if we then caught ourselves in a situation where we're displaced from our jobs. But we had 20, 30 years of savings, which I know is not the case for many of them. So this is also not just because you want to live a great lifestyle, but you're also building for the just in case something happens, because we can't predict the future. We can't predict what administration is going to come in and says you're valuable one day and you're not as valuable the next.
Exactly.
But we can absolutely control starting to build these habits and build a foundation early, so that when this comes, it's not as detrimental.
I will tell you, because I'm a federal worker myself, but I was blessed in that I didn't lose my job, but I did go through back-to-back government shutdowns.
Right.
And I will say, because one, I'm a retired veteran, and two, I have my own business, that I was able to get through those times. Yeah, things were tight, but it wasn't at the point where I didn't have anything come in.
Right.
So these skills of teaching our young people how to make their own, how to have their own, how to build the little bit that they do have, they come in very, very handy. They're very valuable, because you just never know what's going to happen.
Right. And you cannot predict it. You cannot, especially when people are in our community, we just cannot predict it. So the only thing that we can do is best prepare for it as much as we can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we only have about 3 minutes left, unfortunately. The conversation really flows, and then it starts to go by fast. What are 2 tips that you would give to a parent of a teenager? I mean, mine is 26, but I'm still always trying to put her on the right direction. But for parents of teenagers, what are 2 tips that you would give them from your books?
I would tell them it's never too early to start for either one for personal finance or for career planning. And I would also encourage, to stay to communicate with them as much as possible about these topics, because they are not on their own. These books, although they can read them on their own, it's not really meant for them to strictly be on their own. They want to have someone to come to it. And I very much encourage parents to read the books along with their teens so that they can help them throughout this process.
Amen. Amen. Well, once again, I want to thank you for joining me today. Thank you for accepting the invitation. I know you didn't know me from Eve, so it means a lot to me that you decided to come on the show anyway, and I really appreciate that. And this has been a great conversation. So
Thank you.
I really hope that teenagers and parents of teenagers who heard everything that you were saying tonight will take heed to that and help their kids to get on that right financial path.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for your services. I really appreciate all of the above.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right. You have a great night.
You too. Bye. Thank you.
All right. That was Angela McMillan. So her links are in the chat. Make sure that you click on those links. Let's support these books, because by supporting these books, we are supporting our young people. We need to get more young people just interested in finances, not just having the finances, but actually earning and building their finances at the same time. So without any further ado, I would like to bring on our second guest, Miss Naleighna Kai, who is the creator of Cavalcade of Authors. And it's, well, I was about to say it's coming to Chicago, but you're in Chicago.
Yes, that's the home base. That's the home base. That's where we started, and that's where we'll finish. We've been all over the world, though, to Dubai.
Yes. And I watch you every year. I'm like, dang, she over there
now. Indeed. How you doing tonight?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you for having me. And I look forward to seeing you at the Cavalcade of Authors. So, yes.
I'm looking forward to it, too. I mentioned at the top of the show, I don't know if you had heard it just yet, but
I just slid in just in time.
Okay. Well, I did my first Cavalcade of Authors back in, oh my goodness, 2004, I believe, when I first became an author, and I only had one book. But my publicist was telling me, you need to get with Naleighna Kai and be a part of the Cavalcade of Authors. And I mean, that it was big even back then. So
wow.
That's how long you've been doing this, and how much weight your name actually carries, and how much the Cavalcade actually carries, because it's been such a great accelerator for so many authors.
Yes, it is. It's been an amazing experience. It really has. 22 years, and there's not a lot of events that can stay, Black events that can stay. They've been around this long, through the trials and terrors and ups and downs and trying to figure things out. And now we're aligned, well, not aligned. How can I say it? We are exhibiting at the Printers Row Lit Fest. And I just got our seating, our tent designations. We have 2 tents, 39 authors. And the amazing thing is that it's P and Q. That's where we're at, P and Q. And I said, so we're going to be on our P's.
Our P's and our Q's.
Yes. I just kind of laughed at that, because that was long time coming to bring this many people to the event, and just knowing that so many authors, New York Times bestsellers, we have USA Today bestsellers, we have debut authors, people who have been here a long time, and people who are just starting out, and everybody gets the same amount of love.
Absolutely. So tell me, what actually is a Cavalcade for Authors? A Cavalcade of Authors. What happens?
What happens is it's a different experience. Everybody says it's a different experience when they have their events, but mine literally is a different experience. We've done everything from having, I don't believe that people don't buy the book, they buy the author.
Yeah.
And getting them to know the author is a key thing at having them do other things. So we've had shopping trips. We've done going to the outlet store. It used to be for a time, people used to do their Christmas shopping at the Cavalcade because we would take the bus to the outlet mall in Wisconsin. And on the way there, the authors would chat with, on the mic, and chat with the readers. One experience that always puts a smile on my face is when Rashonda, everybody knows Rashonda Tate, loves shoes. Baby, let me tell you, we put up to Oak Street, and that's where Jimmy Choo's is. The bus didn't even stop good. She was cutting the rug. She was cutting up. And the readers were right behind her running. Everybody can't have that experience. We've also had it at different places, Alhambra Palace. We've had it at Bahamas, Atlantis Resorts in the Bahamas. We've done it 4 times there. We want the reader. There's not a lot of selling. There's probably one event the entire weekend where they're selling. There's game night. We play spades, bid whist, spoons, pit. We teach people how to play if they don't know how to play. So they're sitting across, and you've got a New York Times bestseller as your spades partner or your bid whist partner. That's something that you can talk about for years to come. But I also find it isn't about you standing in front of them, introducing yourself. Authors can let their hair down. They can be them. They don't have to be on. You understand what I'm saying? They can be on their best behavior though, but they can be themselves. And that's what it is. And that's what will make readers buy the book, or buy them and say, oh, I want to take a little piece of her home. So the Cavalcade is a unique set of experiences across Chicago or wherever we happen to be. Like we did Dubai. And in Dubai, I top loaded the events. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday events. The other 5 days, everybody was there. They got to do whatever they wanted.
Yeah, they were having fun, relaxing, letting their hair down.
If you're going to be on a plane for 13 hours, I don't believe that we should take all of your time. I believe you're going over there to do other things. And everybody said there was a trip of a lifetime for some people. And it was an amazing time. We were there 11 days, 10 nights. And when I say there are things we did together, and I did them all at the front end, so they could relax or do whatever they wanted for the rest of the time. And that's kind of how the Cavalcade is sent. Like, you're coming Friday night, game night, and you have a suite. There is a Horizons suite along with Path to Publishing suite that they'll go from room to room for different cuisines. We have all the penthouses in this particular hotel. So one penthouse has East Indian food, one penthouse has Jamaican food, one penthouse has Chicago favorites. You got to have some pizza when you come to Chicago. You got to have some Garrett's popcorn. You got to have some hoagies. And then on the next night, I decided to do something different, all soul food. So the different soul food, mac and cheese and sweet potato souffle and green beans and greens and fish, fried fish, and a Harold's chicken, which is a Chicago staple. So they go from room to room and collect everything on their place, but they get to see the different independent publishers, and also the authors that are not signing at the event. They get to be promoted in those suites, but also too, they get to play the games. They get to be outside. They get to experience what it's like to be with the authors, have fun, let their hair down. The book selling happens at Printers Row Lit Fest on Saturday and Sunday, which is the largest literary event in the Midwest, in the U.S. Actually, it's the second largest in the U.S., but the largest in the Midwest. 50,000 to 100,000 people over a 2-day period. That is awesome. And I say we get 20% of those people at our tent, we're going to rack up. What you said.
Well, that's why I'm excited. I've always heard of Printers Row, and I've always wanted to go. So I appreciate the opportunity that you're affording, not just myself, but for many of the other authors who are coming out, because this is a great way, not just to sell books, but I mean, it's about connections. And I tell people, this is not just about selling your book. I know people go to these events saying, I need to sell 50 books or whatever. But if you take the time and make connections and just get to know your fellow authors or get to know some fellow readers, the sales are going to come later.
And one person told me that they made 20 grand off of being part of the Cavalcade. I was like, yo,
that's not bad at all.
Just from a connection. It was one person sold books, yes, but she got to speak there's another person that got to speak at a place, and the whole school, they bought thousands of copies of her book. So you're right. It's about connections. It's about networking. But I also put it in mind, and that's the difference in my event and some events. I look at how the author can get their return on their investment, because without the authors giving that foundation money in the beginning, there would be no cavalcade. There would be no event. My event is not built and based on readers or having to have a whole set of readers the entire weekend. My event is free and open to the public on Friday night.
Right.
So I'm not collecting money from the readers, which leaves them more money to do what? Buy books. Buy books. Now we have VIPs over the weekend that's there. They're Friday night, Saturday night for breakfast both days, and they're covered for the shuttle that takes them back and forth to the Printers Row Lit Fest. They don't have to worry about anything. They just get there.
Nice.
Now those are my diehards. Those are the people who's going to buy from almost every author in the spot.
And I will say you do have readers who do that. The last event I did with you, I believe is last October, there was a lady who went around and bought a book.
Charlotta.
Yep, she bought a book from every author who was there.
Exactly, and those are the ones I curate, because you can have hundreds of people and that person only sells 2-3 books. But if you've got 50 solid readers, there's a difference between book readers and book buyers.
Yeah,
you got readers who will buy and experience everything. That means you will make your money just off of the VIPs. But we have 400 people on that Friday night event, and that's going to be chaos, but it's going to be a wonderful kind of chaos.
I like that, a wonderful kind of chaos.
Yes.
So tell me, how did you get started in this business? I mean, because we talk a lot about the great things that you're doing, but we never really talk about what got you into writing. And people like you, I love to connect with, because it's never just about marketing for you or just about buy my book. You actually have a serious interest in the art of writing. You make sure that every book that you write is written with excellence, and every book that you represent has that same excellence. So what got you started? What actually started your love of reading and writing?
Well, it wasn't a love at first. What had happened was I was challenged to write. It was a guy that he was a writer. And back in the day, I hope I'm not dating myself, Microsoft Network, it used to have spades and hearts, and you all could play with different people all over the world. That was the first time that was interconnected gaming like that. And then they had these private chats. So we went to the private chat rooms, and he wrote some wonderful poetry. He wrote me some erotic poetry. Then he wrote like 2 paragraphs of all these wonderful, wicked things he wanted to do to me.
Oh my!
And I sent him 10 pages back of techniques he needed to learn and things he should brush up on.
You just can't accept the gesture.
Nah, dude, you're gonna come. You got to come all the way correct. And I think it intimidated him. I did, because he was the writer. But those pages that I pinned to him over the internet became chapters 16 through 22 of my first book, which was supposed to be written with him. And I kept encouraging. I did the cover. We used to take photos. He used to have a photography session back then. Had the editing, had the printer. I did everything waiting for him to do his part of the writing. He never did. I realize now that it was intimidating. It was intimidating to him. And I end up writing his portion of it. And then he comes along a little later saying, hey, okay, so now I want 50%. Dude, you didn't do and you want what? So what had happened was I had to get a lawyer involved, because that character we're about to do everything was still based on his life. So we made a deal. And that deal was that he would start receiving money, because he didn't put in for the printing, the editing, the cover design, anything. The deal was he got money. He would start receiving money. It was like 1/3 or whatever when they sold 22,000 copies, right? Right. So how many books did I have printed, Rhonda?
22,000 copies?
No, he would only get money after 2,000 copies. So how many copies did I print?
Oh, 2,000.
No, 1,999. Love you, Prince. And then I wrote a sequel to it, and I killed him off in the first page. Yeah. So I learned a very valuable lesson about contracts, about people who have the desire to do something, people who want you to do all the heavy lifting, but don't want to perform. He was the writer. He had written yards of things, but here I come on the back end, but I get it now. It was intimidating. And because I didn't just say I was going to do a thing, I actually did the damn thing.
Right.
That's how I got started in writing. And then from there, it was amazing time back then with Borders and Walden Books and
Yes.
Crown and all of these places. And you could be an independent, a self-published author, and you could just walk through the door and talk to the manager and they would carry your stuff.
Mhm.
Then we started competing with the traditionally published people, because grassroots authors, we were selling it like, I can't say that on, I got to keep it PG, selling it like hotcakes, right? So then they made it harder for us. We had to get a distributor. And then the distributor would call, you have to have so many cases of books on the shelf, and it had to pay for those cases to be on the shelf. And I got tired. And I was like, you know what? The gauntlet was just too high. And I said, you know what? I want a traditional book deal. And that's when I wrote Every Woman Needs a Wife. And I gave it away at I gave away 50 copies at Book Expo America and got 2 deals rolled my way. And I also did 50 copies of my son's book, Superwoman's Child, Son of a Single Mother. I got a deal for him and me at the same time from the same publisher. It was the imprint of Simon & Schuster. And I took that deal over the other one because they took my son. That was a smart move on her part. And I knew that I could market and promote us both together. And it worked. In 6 months, I was an Essence bestseller, Essence magazine bestseller. And my son was nominated for an NAACP Image Award. So that gamble paid off.
I remember that.
Yeah. So
you've always had a business mind when it comes to writing. And I think that's sometimes the mistake that new authors make when they come into this business, is that they've kind of romanticized I have my book. I want my book out there. And they don't think about the business aspect of it. Or maybe they think a little bit too much on the business aspect of it. But you've had a pretty level mind when it comes to the business of writing.
I can say, though, to be honest, I haven't been as business minded as I should have been. And that's where I'm learning from people like you, people like Joylyn Ross, Path to Publishing. She's going to do a little workshop. You're going to do a little something at the Cavalcade as well, because I'm even in the legal field. I work for a law firm. Yes. And there are some things that she mentioned that authors should do, legacy things that I thought I had it all together. And she was like, she just kind of pulled my skirt down and let my slip show. And I was like, hey. So I said, you really need to teach this at the Cavalcade. I'm giving her 10 minutes, my son 10 minutes. You have your own suite. You're going to do your thing in your Horizon suite. But hers and my son, he just got a cohort with Penguin Books, the traditional publisher. So he was doing some things and learning some things this weekend. And what he posted on his Facebook page, there's some things that self-published authors get right. He said, but there's a lot that we get wrong. And he's going to talk about it at the Cavalcade. So I'm going to have everybody that wants to hear it to sign up. It's not going to be long. I don't believe in us sitting and being lectured for, hours on end or anything like that. 10 minutes. If you can't sell it in 10 minutes, you don't need an hour. And that's the point. They can get with you later for everything else. But I also don't want to take too much away from the games and the fun. And
you want people to have a good time. You don't want them to feel lectured to the entire time.
Right. Well, that's why I want authors who want to sign up. They will sign up with Joy. They'll sign up with my son. They'll sign up with me. I want to make a point of independently self-published versus traditional publishing. I want to crunch the numbers so people can see if you change the dynamic of what you're aiming for on the self-published side, you can make as much money as you've made. Some people make with traditional publishing houses. That's why doing physical events like the Printers Row Lit Fest. I'm also doing the Raw event in Peoria. That's the one, the House of Bohannon, Shay Bohannon. She is Brenda Jackson's agent. And so Donna Hill and Beverly Jenkins, she does an event every other year. And she connects it with music and different legacy things. Doing events like those, I'm also doing the Royal Book Bash. I'm doing Indie Authors United in New Orleans. I'll be back where your home stomping ground. And the Royal Book Bash is on the East Coast. This time I did a lot of Facebook advertising. So we've got readers coming out that are new to us. It's going to be totally different. So, yeah.
And see, this is what I like, being able to go somewhere and meeting new people. I mean, sometimes you go to places and you see the same people over and over again, but when you get to meet new authors, I think that's one of the things I'm most excited about Chicago for, because I've never signed in Chicago. So I know, believe it or not, I have never
Out the
signed
front
into.
door and run out the back. What? What? Oh, you gonna clown, because Chicago is a wonderful place for literary endeavors. There's so much going on. Almost every other week there's something literary, some bookstore, like there's the book joint that's here. So they're giving, I saw somebody said it on Facebook when I went on, somebody said, hey, y'all going to the book joint tomorrow? I'm like, what's happening at the book joint tomorrow? So I got to look it up. And they're talking in Facebook groups. And there's been a surgence of Black bookstores that have opened, and it's wonderful. And actually Barnes and Noble bounced back. It survived the Amazon years, because we had 3 new ones open up here. And so bookstores, book sales being what it is, but events, getting to meet the authors, it just is an amazing. You can just buy a ebook somewhere and just, but if you can equate it with I liked her. She's kind of crazy. I like that. I want more crazy in my life.
Yeah, people like to support the authors they feel like they know and that they've had a connection with. I mean, I've had people who've purchased my book. That I don't read, but I'm gonna buy your book because I like you. You made
right. And that's a key point, is that it helps if you come up with a number. There's a number that I want to sell each year, and I say I need to do this event, this event, this event, this event, and this event, and I will make that number. But if I hadn't been with a traditional publishing house to see how things worked, and I can also, when somebody gets a deal with a traditional publisher, I can direct them, okay, when the marketing comes in, you need to do X, this, that, and the third to help. Don't think that they're going to do everything. You have to still carry your weight.
Right.
And giving them a game plan. That is so key, because I represent some pretty decent people that's been up there and been in the industry for a minute. #1 New York Times bestselling author Helen Hart, Tanana Reeve and Stephen Barnes do the marketing, give marketing consultant for them. And they are all in. They're coming to the Cavalcade next year. Hey. I'm excited. That's first time. Because behind the scenes, I love their love. I love their relationship, and I love their relationship with writing and authors and writers. So having them to come and share their wisdom on movie screen, books to film, and how they didn't wait for it to happen. They got out there and made it happen. When they went over the Japanese investors and whatever they had to do to get things done. We need to know and understand that energy so we can emulate that and do the same thing. Don't have to wait for it to come to us.
Amen. Amen. Now, I know, unfortunately, we're running out of time.
Oh, are we?
Believe it or not, it's already 7:50.
Ginger, you talk so much. No, just
yeah. So, I mean, as hopefully the audience sees that Naleighna Kai and I go back a very long time. I told you I did her. Well, it wasn't her first Cavalcade for Authors. It was my first Cavalcade of Authors back in 2004, I believe that was. And then I interviewed you at the National Black Book Festival this past
2 Octobers ago, 2 years ago.
Yes. But then even before then, when I first started Meet the World Image Solutions, and I had the event at the
Zeta. Yes.
At the time there.
We clowned. Every author sold out. Every author sold out. No matter if the personalities didn't mix or whatever, because Tribe gonna do our thing. And I think it was me and Camilla and Portia.
Yeah.
The 3 of us, we wasn't playing. We didn't come to play at all.
Well, y'all did your thing. You did your thing. Every time I came back to check on y'all, you were like, "Oh, we out."
It was very well put together, and the fact that you put the community element, we got the community bookstore, we got to see Vera down there, who was influential in getting a lot of Black authors into Essence Festival back in the day. So I loved laying eyes on her.
And speaking of her, I don't know, I'm sure you heard that she is back with Essence Festival.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
I was like, they should have never replaced her.
They need that home, that they need that community involvement. And that was not right what was done, but I'm so glad they're making it right. It's a whole new set of people that's in charge.
Yes.
And they've got to make some things right with New Orleans, from what I understand. So I'm just saying.
Yep. But yeah, I actually, when I was in New Orleans last week, every time I'm in New Orleans, I have to stop by Community. And so I stopped by, laughed and talked with Mama Jennifer for a little while.
Yes, yes. You remind me because I'll be in New Orleans September 17th through the 20th. That's
Okay.
the Indie Authors United, but I'm giving a come out and play event on that Friday night where readers can come play games with the authors. There's a few tribe members. We're going to be down there. I'm going to make sure I stop by Community, but I'm also
Yeah.
going to hit Willa Mays or Willa something. There's a restaurant. They have these square biscuits.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And the best fried chicken. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
listen, my taste buds is already there. I'm just saying.
Oh, we just had a comment come up. I don't know if you saw it, but she said, Lisa, you are so full of energy. It makes me so excited to be part
Tracy,
of
her book is Shots Fired. Shots Fired. It's a memoir of her survival. Amazing. Now, this is how things work. I was right next to her at the Black Women's Expo in Chicago that happened, I think, last month or a month and a half ago. And she saw how we worked and we saw how she worked. And she's like, she had been trying to get into Printers Row for years. And I said, we got one slot left. Baby, she didn't play. She put that money down, baby, and got her in the chat. Got her Eventbrite ticket, and she's been rolling ever since. Hey, and there's Sheila just kicked in. She's a brand new author. We got her book done in time for the Cavalcade.
So, are you saying that Tracy didn't give you a headache like I did?
We'll see what had happened was. No, Tracy came. She didn't come to play. She didn't come to play either. So she came prepared. She already had her brand, her platform, her coloring, everything like that. And I encouraged her to do 2 other books to maximize on all of this marketing and promotion that she's doing. And she was getting a banner done. Everybody, it's only 3 people that didn't get banners, but now her banner's on. I said, if you're going to pay that much money for a banner, you need to have a few more books on there. So she's got a lookbook and some other journal or whatever on there. Cool. Let's roll. That way you don't have to get another banner for another 2 years.
There you go. And I love that. And you're almost like a one-stop shop because, there's the services that you offer, and then your son offers graphic services as well.
Cover design.
Right.
And he was also commissioned from several traditional publishing houses to do covers. So he's up there when it comes to that. And he gives independent authors, self-published authors an edge. And that is a very key thing. Our books look like they come from a major house.
Right. And often, unfortunately, because when we try to save money because we don't want to pay for this or that, and we try to do things ourselves, sometimes it looks like we did things ourselves. So when you can get somebody who can give you that professional edge, go ahead and spend the extra money and get it done. It's just going to put you that much further ahead of your competition that's trying to do everything themselves.
That's true. My son says your cover is your first representation. They'll see it on Amazon in a thumbnail before they even get to talk to you or even get to read what the book is about. That cover has to sell you before everybody else, everything else.
Very true. Very true. All right. So I know you've dropped quite a few jewels, but it is now 7:56.
As long as it's not the family jewels.
Yeah, man, not the family jewels now. Not the family jewels.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. Gems. Let's say gems. I couldn't resist. You open yourself up for that.
I did. I walked right into that. But no, what are 2? I know you've given a lot of advice, but let's just be explicit about it. What are 2 pieces of advice you would give to independent authors who are trying to make it right now in this industry?
Be patient with yourselves because the industry is constantly changing and you need to educate yourself as much as possible. Go to these workshops, go to these events, see what other authors are doing and say, I like that. I like that. There was one author that walked up to me when they saw how Tribe had like 14 banners, like back to back. One lady said, I didn't know what my vision was. She said, until I saw your vision, now I understand. You get it. You learn from each other, as well as I would say, do it in such a way that you take into consideration your peace of mind. Don't go out here scrambling. Make a plan, stick with it. I know I only do 4 to 5 events per year, and they're solid. They're going to be the Cavalcade of Authors. It is going to be the Royal Book Bash. It is going to be Kim Folk Lit. It is going to be something that puts me in front of a lot of people, and somebody else has done the work to bring the people, the readers in. So I can focus on what? My brand, my website, my social media, everything, the packaging of me. When somebody looks me up, they're like, oh, she got her thing together. They don't know we peddling like this underneath. But on the outward, it looks good. Focus on your brand. Focus on what it is that you want to do. Learn the industry. And that's what I did first. I learned the industry before I went out and tried to get a deal with a traditional publishing house. But then being there, I learned what I didn't want and what I did want. And it was just as hard as far as the marketing. I still had to do just as much, if not more, because I had something to prove at that point.
Yes. And keep it, and don't forget, Naleighna is still an author. She's still writing. So I know you saw her website on the screen, and it's also in the chat. Go to NaleighnaKai.com so you can check out her books and the services that she offers. And I'll tell you, if you need to know somebody in this industry, this is a woman you need to know. So I want to thank you for being on the show tonight. Thank you for the energy that you brought to the show.
Having me. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I cannot wait to see you next month.
Yes, and those cookies. Make sure you bring some cookies.
Cookies are coming.
I can cheat that weekend. I'm a clown a little bit. I'm gonna get some of that Giordano's pizza, some of that Jamaican food, some of that East Indian food, some of that.
We can exercise when we get back home.
That's what I'm screaming. That weekend, I've already planned it out. I've mapped out my damage, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. My mama's looking forward to it. Dedrick's looking
I can't
forward
wait to see Mama.
Yes,
but she's not gonna be on the teaching table this time. She's gonna actually get to just play. I'm just saying, she's gonna play some games. She was holding court when we did it in on the East Coast.
Oh, the Royal Book Bash.
Yes.
Yeah, she was teaching people how to play. What was that? She was teaching people how to play
spades and spades.
Yeah, or bid whist. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was hard. I thought, well, see, for me, I start with spades because that's the foundation. You can't just jump into teaching people bid whist. They have to at least have spades foundation. Yeah. So that's just me. So.
No, but it's true. All right. But thank you once again. You enjoy your evening.
Yes.
And like I said, I will see you next month. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, y'all. That was the great Naleighna Kai. And now, before we go, I just got to let you know, first of all, thank you all for supporting the show. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are trying to continue to grow the show because this is what we do. We love to support authors, not just the big name authors, but the independent authors as well. This is what we do on this show every Monday night. And if you are an author out there and you would like to be on the show, just click that link. It's right there. It was just on the screen. It's in the chat. YouTube.com at Meet the World Image Solutions. Subscribe to the show so we can continue to grow. Now, this week, I've already told you guys, it's a hugely busy week for me. There's so many things happening this week, and I'm just going to show you just very quickly what we have going on. So tomorrow night, I will be speaking at Transformational Tuesday, which is hosted by the crew of Pyros, which is my Mardi Gras crew. Love them, and I thank you so much for inviting me to be a featured speaker. So I'll be talking about the Story to Legacy Voice Framework. And I'll tell you what voice stands for when you come out tomorrow. So if you are interested in joining this live, contact me so I can get you the information, because we don't put links to Teams and Zoom out in the public anymore because too many crazy people out there. So, but if you would like to attend this, then hit me up and I will get you the information for that. Now on Wednesday, I will be hosting a talk with the great Max Rodriguez, who is the founder of the Harlem Book Fair. We're going to be talking about how you let the tools move you faster, but you keep the story yours. This is going to be another free talk, and we're going to be talking about how you can use AI for your business processes and your promotion, not to write your book. We don't teach people how to use AI to write their book. This is not what we do, but we're going to be talking about how you can use it to help you with your business processes. Now, also, I will be at the Harlem Book Fair on Saturday. So if you are in the New York area, come on out on Saturday. And I'm going to be interviewing authors out there. Of course, I'm going to have copies of my books, Surprise Swipe Right, as well as Trust. And like I said, I will be doing live interviews, streamed interviews for all of the authors who are in the area. So this is a great opportunity to come out if you were in New York, or maybe you just want to visit New York. Come on out to the Harlem Book Fair on Saturday. Now, last but not least, we have 5 slots left for Black History Month Literary Weekend 2027. So if you want to be a featured author at this event is everything. It's a full weekend experience where we visit schools, we award scholarships and essay contest awards. We have our fabulous jazz brunch. We have entertainment. This is a total connection weekend. Yes, you are going to sell books. You will sell books, but this is about connections. And so we want you to be a part of it. So if you want more information on how you can be a part of this event, go to my website, www.mtwimagesolutions.com, where you can find more information about the Black History Month Literary Weekend. And on September 1st, I don't have the flyer for it right now, but on September 1st, submissions open for the 3rd annual For the Culture Book Awards. The winners will be awarded their cash prizes at the Black History Month Literary Weekend. But if you can't get into it unless you get into it. So go to my website, www.mtwimagesolutions.com, for more information on entering the For the Culture Book Awards. And just a note, this is for fiction authors only, full-length fiction authors only. So the information is right there. I hope to see you guys there. So that is all we have for today. Thank you once again for supporting the show. Thank you for watching tonight. I hope you learned a lot, because this has been a great show. But that's all we have for tonight. So I will see you guys on Transformational Tuesday tomorrow. And then I will see you again on September 1st, because I don't think we're doing a show next week. I'm supposed to be taking a break, but more information to follow, guys. I'll let you guys know. All right, that's all we have for tonight. God bless you. Goodbye.